I must say good evening now, right? Almost 6. No, it was a question asked to me about PPT. I thought I was told no PPTs, so I didn't do it, which was good. Very unusual for an IT guy not to have a PPT. But I think I'll talk without PPT now. I think we heard, as we said, the government's side of what are the challenges, what are the success stories, which are very encouraging to hear and important. We heard technologies, hardware side and other software side which are coming up. What I'm going to talk really is something different, completely a different dimension, and to my mind is the most important. We are talking of, before I get into the detail of what I'm talking, we are talking of India becoming middle income country and developed country, which is all might happen, might slow down, I don't know. But one thing which is happening unfortunately is, and we all know that, is that inclusive growth is not happening. The growth is happening, but inclusive growth is not happening. Now I was taking it at a face value until I just downloaded one app on this iPad from World Bank, and you can quickly draw graphs. I was drawing 2 graphs, in fact, while we were speaking, just to show you a data, just as a data point. If you draw a graph of child mortality under 5, a 20-year graph, which is what I was drawing, take China, Bangladesh and India. The gap between China and India has grown bigger over the last 20 years. Still worse, I must tell you this, Bangladesh, which has a lower per capita GDP than us, has gone below us in terms of child mortality rate starting 2005. I have this graph right in front of me. I couldn't project it here. I was drawing same graph on education, female dropout rate in the school. I am getting same number again. Bangladesh has crossed us last 5-6 years. So I think this inclusive growth story is really real one, and we got to do something about it. And what I'm going to talk here is, can IT help to make it happen? Can IT be an enabler in some form to make it happen? And this is based on my experience of last 15-20 years working with government in my capacity of Mass Tech, also doing a lot of development for government outside India. We have been one of the major players outside India for government. And if I look at next 15 to 20 years, it is very clear that hardware prices are going down, communication prices are going down, we are going to connect all the villages all over, and Gujarat has already done it. All this is going to happen. But there is one thing which will be missing and which will always be a problem, will be the applications. Your real problem is going to have applications, and application will slow down this whole process of computerization severely. And if we really want to do inclusive growth, and if we think software can do quite a bit of enablement of this inclusive growth, like NREGA applications, like applications of social justice and so on and so forth, where I'm really seeing the benefit of computerization, where we are preventing the funds being misused at a ground level through IT. I'm seeing it myself, so much so that you spend X amount in IT about making things happen, and application level is what I will talk. Now, if I look at my experience of I don't know how many applications and projects, I have lost a count in government. There are 5 steps or 5 mega processes that have to be, 5 processes that have to be managed properly. And all of them together have to be sequentially managed so well that we make it happen. So I'll just point out now, we don't have time to discuss all of them. The first and real point is, we need to set the goal of an IT system, objective of IT system very clearly and precisely defined. Whether it is reducing child mortality rate or whether it is reducing leakage of misuse of funds or whatever it could be. And all of these goals actually can be well defined now because there's so much of research happening at social level that we are counting everything at a global level and we can compare ourselves how we are doing better. I was just reading Doing Business. There is a World Bank publication called Doing Business Well or something, I forget that. They benchmark all the countries along how fast you can do business in that country. Unfortunately, we are not ranked very high, but they have some 55, 60 processes which are mentioned there. How much time it takes to close a business, how much it takes to start a business, how much it takes to buy a land, etc., etc. Now, each one of these are actually a measurement for your IT system. And we can benchmark ourselves against other states as well as the world and then keep that as a goal. So clearly defined goal is sometimes we find missing. And if we have that, that is the biggest engine for success of an application. Because then everyone is clear what we are trying to achieve. And I found in my experience of many years that the goals were not properly defined. Application developers were doing X, the leader wanted Y, and what happened was Z. This is a repeated story, but repeatedly, not done properly, unfortunately. So one is goal. The second part really is, at a very high level, I would say, and although that's not an issue per se, but it is an issue to some extent, is the budget that at a very high level government gives to IT. I think if you really look at government actually is nothing but two functions. One is policy formation and other is decision making to serve citizens. And that part is really information processing.